Friday night show featuring special guest James Allen McCune. And now here's your host, Alex Ramirez.
My mic was muted. This is a professional show, folks. Did you see that professional transition? That was incredible. I'm your host, Alex Ramirez, and welcome to the early show with Alex Ramirez. This is the original internet talk show, and since I'm your host, I will now perform monologue for you. So, here it goes. Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear about the Keemstar and H3H3 drama? Wow, am I right? Those guys should just fuck already. We got a great show for you tonight, folks. We have a good friend of mine. You've seen him on Sugar Pine 7, Blair Witch, The Walking Dead, and In Your Dreams. Folks, please give a warm welcome to my very good friend, James Allen McCune.
Hello! Can you hear me? Am I there?
Yeah, you're here. Hey, JB.
Love it.
How's it going? I just realized. There we go. Now they can hear you.
Yay! It is going. I'm well. All right. Oh boy.
Jamie, is that how you say your last name? Is it McCune?
It is. It's strange because I feel like there was a point when I realized as a kid that people were kind of making up their own pronunciations, and there was the thought I had where it's like, if I just let everybody decide how it's pronounced, I don't have to correct anyone anymore. And I thought about just going by everybody else's.
Okay, that's good though.
Versions of my name.
I recorded that VO for the intro, and I was like, I guess I should have probably asked how to pronounce his name.
No, I get it. It's a little weird looking, the thing. But it's the worst one I found. People, can you swear on this? Is how vulgar are you willing to be?
Yes, you can swear as much as you want.
Okay, this one's not a great word.
That's why we're on Twitch, Jamie, because we can say whatever the fuck we want.
I'll be swearing. Oh God, I can't praise Jesus like this. No, I was shooting Blair Witch, and the first AD or second AD was a beautiful man who was extraordinarily innocent. Like he was just like a. I don't think he was a Christian, but I feel like this is what Christians think they look like. Is what this man actually was, and he just. I thought he was just like making fun of me for the first month because he called me James Allen McC-word.
He called you James Allen McCunt?
He said Mr. McCunt every time he talked to me. And he was an extraordinarily kind man, so it was just like, wow, that is a very, very heavy insult for just such a nice boy. I later found out he was saying McCun, and I was adding the T in my head, and we corrected each other. And it was like, wow, I thought you were just, real heavy when it comes to insults, but like you just heard me wrong.
That's good. If they're having that would have been a pretty heavy insult.
I think so.
Jamie, it's very good to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining.
Get their ass kicked just because they exist. And I don't like that one. I think we should change the definition to mean like, we should save the Karens. And replace the whole like it's when somebody has got a thing that they shouldn't be upset about. I think that maybe is a good usage for it. You turn into a little bitch just to kind of pursue something. And I did that with cookie dough for a long time.
What?
Here's my thing. I became a little bitch being so obsessed with how much we were getting completely ripped off by the cookie dough company. Here's the deal, Pillsbury. You guys took one of the greatest. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm not sure what you talk about in the show typically.
No, this is great. We're gonna fucking take down Pillsbury right now.
We need to. They're just as bad as Comcast as far as I'm concerned, because what they did was they teased us when we were kids and had those big tubes of cookies. You know what I'm talking about? The big tubes. Yes. Yeah, and you could cut, and they would have the seasonal ones with like a Christmas tree or like I don't know, like a reindeer taking a shit or some sort of like icon on the front of the like the cookies that you could cut, and you could make them huge. Me and my dad used to like cut gargantuan cookies out of those tubes, but they make the decision for you. Apparently, that was such a burden to cut your own cookie that they had to make a tray of pre-shaped cookies that are square now, and they're tiny.
Yes.
And it's like half the cookie dough for like twice the price. I'm mad. I'm real mad about this.
Jamie, I think you just blew my fucking mind. I didn't even realize. You're 100% right. They used to fucking sell them in the tubes, and now they just give them to you on a tray. Holy shit.
That wasn't a problem we needed fixed. We can cut our own cookies, god damn it. That's not okay.
Dude, they could have.
Big Cookie needs a check.
They could have even done the same shit they already do for the cinnamon rolls. Because the cinnamon rolls, you could just peel apart.
That's what I'm saying. Half the fun is making your own, and they're just like, "Oh, we made it easier for you." It's like, how easy was cutting pre-cooked or pre-made? I don't know what the term would be. Curated dough. I don't know. Dough is hard enough. That's the problem we need to fix. We don't need to get a distribution process for putting it on the pan.
Holy fuck.
It's obnoxious. It's just a cheap way to take money from everybody's grandmothers. I can't stand it.
Jamie, this is a problem that I didn't even realize we fucking have. And full disclosure, not a conversation I expected to have. But
no, of course not. Nobody expects to talk about cookie dough. But I'm telling you, it's okay to be a little bitch, because this is the one that I am the little bitch for. And I think it's just a matter of giving a shit about something other people might not. And it's okay. I think it's a good thing. That's where I'm starting today.
Dude, I think I might be a little bitch about that too. That kind of pisses me off.
I wear it proudly, man. It's a harsh phrase that sounds really upsetting, but like, fuck it. I can be a little bitch sometimes. I'm okay with it.
No, I
don't want to malign anyone who is proudly wearing that banner, at least anyway.
I'm on your side, man. But
awesome.
Anyway, Pillsbury and Comcast aside, Jamie, you are my guest today, and I want to focus a little more on you. Jamie, I know a lot of people probably know you from, like, Sugar Pine 7, Blair Witch, and all those talk shows, but I want to know more about you. I think you are an interesting person, and aside from your online and, like, film personalities. Let's talk more about you.
That's really sweet. Thanks, first of all.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited to talk to you and, like, help people get to know you a little better. Let's talk about,
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'd love that.
Where did everything start, dude? Like, where did you grow up?
I was actually talking to, so I'm from Georgia. I'm from the South originally. I think I'm just like, it's baked into me to be a Southern boy. And I think I used to be really kind of ashamed of that, just growing up in one town, in one house my entire life until I moved out here. I think that kind of poisoned me. You grass is always greener situation. In retrospect, I'm actually very proud to be from the South and stuff. And it's not something I'm hiding anymore, because I used to just associate the South with all the stuff everybody else does. And so I was really kind of ashamed. But I think lately I think that there's a lot of really lovely things about the South that have nothing to do with, slavery, misogyny, racism. Like, yes, those are important. We need to pay attention to them as things to fix and stuff. But like, if you really just go to a Southern town and you get a flat tire, you're going to get somebody who's going to help you. And they really give a shit about you. And they check in on you a week later. It's a world full of really kind, great people. And so I think I grew up without like thinking about career stuff so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't really give a shit about my career or anything until it was about time to start doing it. I just got very lucky a lot. I really don't want to underemphasize how much luck I've had. But I think I grew up really lucky to have a community around me that wanted me to focus on being a good person first, and then all the career stuff came later. So I didn't really think about being an actor until I was like 22.
That's awesome. Can I just say that should be the quote of every Southern state is the South. We're more than just slavery.
I think they would have to take down some of them statues first before they can say that kind of thing.
They got to work on their, what is it, PR? They got to get their PR team to step up.
The South needs a PR team, that is for sure.
No, but that's cool, man. I mean, I've never been to the South, but it looks lovely.
I think you're such a kind guy. You would fit right in, and then people would probably say something a little bit not cool on accident, and then maybe it'd be a little bit more difficult. But it's like when you got to deal with it at some point. People just don't know better. But like there is there's a lovely community of folks out there who just want to make sure everybody's, the best version of themselves, which is why you get a paddling from everybody's mama growing up. You didn't know where the whoopings were coming from a lot of the time, but that's kind of a quaint, fun thing too.
Dude, I've been spanked by a friend's parent before.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not a widespread thing, but it is definitely not just a Southern thing. I pissed off my friend Brad's dad so bad that he chased both of us into my friend Brad's room. We both dove underneath the bed, and he went under the bed and just started fucking swatting at any ass he could get.
God dang.
Yeah, he beat our ass.
See, our generation, I think, is more cognizant of the fact that, maybe that's going to traumatize a child.
I was certainly scared afterwards, yes.
Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, that wasn't the healthiest thing for my brain to just be afraid of everyone's mama. But, there is something to everybody, being raised by the town. I don't know if it's appropriate, but it did help me kind of, realize I need a sense of community in my life or whatnot. But
it's important to be surrounded by good people in your community. I think it helps.
Yeah, man, I think so, especially in entertainment and whatnot. But I'm glad that our generation's going to be not chasing their children around the house, probably not smacking them either. I think we're going to be a lot better about, hey, let's sit down and talk about how you're feeling.
I hope so.
I do too, especially after the quarantine thing. I think everybody's sort of in a similar mood lately.
Definitely. Speaking of all the star business and all that Hollywood stuff, how'd you get started in acting, dude? Is it something you wanted to do since you were a kid, or did you just kind of stumble into it? And especially in Georgia, how is it down there?
Well, it's actually Georgia's a very, very artistic place, especially Atlanta. I think people look at Georgia for all of its political problems and stuff, but I'm telling you, go to Atlanta. Atlanta is a little island of progressiveness and safety in places. Once you get to the outskirts, then you start to see where the red lines were and that sort of thing. But the community in Georgia is overwhelmingly very artistic, I think, especially our generation. So I grew up with my parents were raised in an environment where they had a hard time being allowed to have what they want and need and that sort of thing. So my mom especially really raised me with just a focus on be happy in the moment. And so I was really never focused on my career or the future or anything. I was basically just getting into plays, and I was filming things with my friends, and I was doing stage stuff for just fun for a really long time. Because in high school, I was so aimless. I had a counselor call me to the office and be like, I just wanted to ask you what the fuck you're doing.
Dude.
Which was, wake up call. Yeah.
It sounds like you and I had very similar childhoods. Holy shit.
Well, I don't know if you're uncomfortable talking about it, but the whole when you're not neurotypical and you have ADHD or you're working with bipolar or something like that, your childhood, you just can't. It's a little bit harder to work in the system because people are building systems to teach children who are neurotypical. And so I think you and I probably we were very kinesthetic children and needed it's just a different approach. And I think that creates a lot of I don't know, fuck this kind of attitudes, which I think is very appropriate when you don't have anyone who's trying to understand you.
No, I definitely, I don't think I've ever talked about it with, a lot of people, but I have ADHD, and Jamie here also has ADHD, and it can be very difficult.
Yeah, I'm sorry if that's personal. I want to bring that up.
No, I don't care. I am an open book. If you go down my Twitter timeline, I'm sure you'll find me talking about it. But
that's, for me, it's always something I've been very open about. But sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, it's okay. I was just saying, it's so hard to go through school with ADHD. Full disclosure, I started taking Adderall because of my doctor recently, and it's the first time I've ever been able to think. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of wish I would have started taking it in high school, because it's just, I was in the same boat as you. Super aimless. I think I had an opposite problem. It's not that I didn't know what I wanted to do as much as it is I wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
And I couldn't focus on just
that.
one thing. I still kind of have that problem.
I do too. I think that's just us having that, that separation between our frontal lobe and our rear lobe in our brains. Or just like our capacity for understanding and being interested in things is huge, but we have no control over what we're interested in.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
It's an interesting thing.
I started building a computer, and like that's been my obsession for like the past month now. It's like I'm watching videos on how to build computers, like how can I make my computer better, and I always fall into rabbit holes like this, like just insane burst of like obsession.
That was me in 2017. I wanted a computer that wasn't going to fuck up on me, and so I had that thought of like I want to build a computer so I'm not wasting money. And then I realized I didn't understand shit about it, and so I ended up spending. This is where my brain obsessions go. I ended up spending about 3 or 4 years just like studying computers in like the marketplace of most components and stuff, just to like try and understand what the hell I'd be paying for.
Yes.
I had so much fun giving a shit about that. Like now that I've built my computer, it's like kind of a little bit out of my system, but it's nice to have all this like info that I can share. So if you ever need anything, let me know. I know plenty of YouTube channels.
I will definitely bother you about it, but I'm in the same boat, dude. Like I've ordered probably 90% of my parts already, and now I'm like on PC Part Picker, like, oh man, I want to build Megan a computer now. Like, what can I get from Megan to help her with what she wants?
Yeah, man, I built like 4 computers in the last year. I fucking love it, especially when you look at videos from like Linus, of course, Linus Tech Tips and Jesus Sense and Hardware Unbox and stuff. You get a lot of really the gaming. Oh shoot, I can't believe I'm forgetting the
Gaming
the
Nexus.
Name. Gaming Nexus. I fucking love Steve.
Yeah, they're awesome. Shout out to Gaming Nexus and Linus Tech Tips. They're awesome.
Easy. Yeah, they're fucking the top notch, man. I really feel like Ender Bauer does a lot of really fun stuff, but like there's a lot of really lovely people in this really niche community. I fell in love with like the PC community because they're like the cookie rant that I went on. That's like everything.
Yes.
It's like everything for the PC community. It's so much fun to see like people who really give a shit about something that's so specific. Like
dude,
that.
And over any parts, I was looking for a good like CPU cooler, and there's people on forums arguing about why certain fans don't work as good as they should.
Well, why would you ever use anything but Noctua? But like,
that's actually the brand I went with because of the internet.
That's what's up, man. They're the best. Noctua doesn't give a shit. They only recently started painting things black just because they were so annoyed with gamers because they make money elsewhere. Like they don't give a shit about the PC community. They just make really great stuff.
Yes.
Because that's who they are.
Dude, I have a CPU cooler coming that's fucking brown and white. And I'm like, oh, same. That's fine. Like, it doesn't matter, I guess. But that was
all
weird.
my fans are, like Noctua, like the like cream, and I think it's kind of classy.
It looks nice. It really does.
I feel like it's intentionally aggressively ugly compared to most like gamery things. Like they made them like not work at all. It's impossible for them to work with like the RGB craze that's going on.
You need the RGB to get the frame rates. Everyone knows
faster.
that.
The whole computer can think better when it's got blue and a little bit of a blue-red.
I read on Reddit last night that red RGB is for power, blue RGB is for efficiency, and green RGB is for environment friendly.
But everybody kind of leaves it on a rainbow vomit anyway, so
you get the best of all powers. Anyway, we gotta cut this PC shit. We're not
moving on.
Fuck. Reeling it back in, Jamie. We were talking about you growing up and stuff and like kind of being aimless in high school. How did that leap from being aimless to you kind of going in the direction of acting?
I wish that I had the kind of mission and purpose in life that was like, here's what I did, A, B, C, D, and I could spell out my whole journey like it was all.
We got time, Jamie. Where did you start out?
Well, I didn't even do anything on purpose is the thing, and I really need to admit that right at the start because it can sound easy to make everything sound like it's you accomplished everything yourself, but like I don't know. The entertainment industry is weird, and I think I got lucky a whole lot. And one of those strokes of luck was in 11th grade, in 10th grade, I got into drama class just out of like I don't have anything else to do. And in my senior years, when I started actually getting into plays and stuff and auditioning, and so I didn't really get into acting as a concept until I was 17, something like that.
That's really interesting.
And I wish I started earlier. I was talking to somebody who's been doing ballet since she was like 3.
Damn.
And it's like, man, I would love to have that kind of purpose in life. Know for sure.
Did you struggle with acting like initially because of ADHD? Like, how did you handle like memorizing scripts and stuff?
What's interesting is I think ADHD is perfect for being an actor as a job by itself. If you're a full-time actor and you have ADHD, I mean, your taxes aren't going to get done on time, but you are going to be, I think, a little bit ahead of most people because you can sort of, I don't know, ADHD has a lot of benefits that I think aren't felt a lot because it is such a disturbingly upsetting disorder to just have an inability to feel happiness the same way everybody else does. You know, it's just like not having the dopamine ability to feel the dopamine like everybody else. It's interesting because I think it kind of builds a more nuanced emotional palette. And so and that sounds really pretentious, but truly I do feel like
you're absolutely
going through a society of folks who for the most part operate, you know, at twice the capacity of you. It kind of creates this like strange headspace that I think I got lucky to have because I was really kind of inconvenienced internally by going to drama class. And I hate that about myself, but I was just sort of like, you know, oh, boo-hoo. I don't want to play, you know, essentially. And I was just being a moody 10th grader or whatnot. But I remember the first time I got a compliment like ever while, you know, for trying something was doing a monologue in drama class in my like 11th grade year. I thought I was porking it up and I didn't know the lines, of course. And I was just sort of like, this is it's all rough or whatever. And then it ended and the teacher, Dr. Richard McMitchin, who I credit as being one of the reasons I have any sort of like happiness in life is because of this man. I love him so much. He really kind of nurtured that ability because once that monologue was over, he was like, that was actually good.
That's awesome.
In a way that wasn't hurtful because it could be very easy to be like surprised by somebody's abilities if you don't expect a lot of them and it to be like, wow, I thought you were a do nothing. But he did it in a way that felt very important and respectful to like the reason I'm good at it or whatever. Like it felt like, oh, it was legitimately like the first compliment I ever got because I just didn't do anything. And so I just kind of kept doing that honestly out of like, oh, this works. I have a thing. I just didn't have anything that I cared about other than like Zelda and, you know, boobs.
Yes, that sounds like 12th grade me. Yes. Did you get the Hyrule Historia textbook? You ever get that?
Don't even get me started, dude. I have 2 of them.
Oh my god!
And I have all of the like hardback guidebooks for the collection they made of all the different like hardback compendiums that they did. I have a bunch of those.
That's awesome.
Zelda's one of those things. Like as a kid, I think, again, being so aimless, I didn't really have anything to do because I wasn't in pursuit of anything. So I think I just played Zelda over and over and over again. Still, every year, at least once a year, I play at least Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. And I've been going back and forth between like Wind Waker and I don't know. It doesn't matter. But those games are like my safe place.
Dude, I just actually replayed Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask a couple weeks ago on my wife's DS, and they're still great. And like I still have my original N64 Ocarina of Time cartridge that I still play. I definitely relate to that.
Yeah, that was my entire safety as a kid, I think. So like, I think performing sort of became like, I started to discover acting, I think, after that monologue moment. And I remember playing Zelda and hearing Link do all those badass grunts and screams and stuff while he was swinging that big old sword around. And I was like, damn, there's a person who recorded all that stuff, who just like stood still and made screaming sounds for this game. And I thought that was just the coolest shit in town to be able to do. And I think it was later I realized you could do that as an actor. And it's one of the things I think pushed me to keep going.
That's awesome, man. That's so good that you had someone in your life to push you like that too. I think that's just so important to have, at least like, especially like, not a parental figure, but when you're a kid and an adult tells you something like that, it just feels really fucking good, you know?
Right. And I think the way that he did it wasn't like, I wish I could concentrate the way that he approached that to me, because I feel like there was an encouragement there that really kind of set my whole life up to be more positive, because he just worded it in a way that felt like, okay, he didn't have a lot of expectations out of me to begin with, but even despite low expectations, he felt like I had done something that was honest. And that was really one of the things. He was like, you have a lot of truth in you, and you should use that. That was basically what he was getting at. And meant a lot to me because I didn't feel like I had a lot of value, I guess, before that moment. So acting really kind of gave me a lot of internal self-worth, which is healthy. But as time goes on and, I get lucky and I start to do more musical theater, sort of do more plays, and I do more random industrial films like training video for Chick-fil-A and doing musical theater in Atlanta this whole time. Eventually got an agent, I got a commercial in like South Carolina. It was a slower build for the most part, but I, regardless, got extremely lucky extremely early because did I ever tell you the story about how I booked The Walking Dead? Because it's kind of an odd, it's a very wild situation.
I don't think so, but I'd love to hear it. That's awesome. That's great. Talk show material. Go ahead, Jamie.
I got you. Also, real quick, how long does the show typically last?
No, man, it usually goes for an hour, but I don't care if we go over. There's no time limit.
Copy that.
Fuck network time limits.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see if I had to shorten things up. But regardless, at the time, I was working customer service for a motorcycle company. And I'll tell you what, I'm not supposed to do that. That's not for me. I really have a hard time with the phone, especially at the time I did. I had a lot of anxiety that I didn't know about. So the phone really just kind of freaked me out. And I was exclusively talking to angry people because it's customer service. It was like the headquarters of a motorcycle company. So I don't know a thing about bikes. And I'm talking to just these angry biker people all over the whole country. And it was really just me and one other dude. And he would have other stuff to do. So at times I was the only person on customer service for the entire fucking continent of North America. And so really not my favorite job. Still, again, lucky to have it. Very fortunate. I'm grateful for it. I didn't have the maturity to handle that well in the moment, in retrospect. But that only made it so much more satisfying when I booked The Walking Dead and could go straight from work to the set one day. But what caused that was I was one day home for, I think my girlfriend at the time's birthday or some reason. I was home during the afternoon, and we were just watching something, being lazy. And she was like, I think we were watching the first season of The Walking Dead because she and I were obsessed with it when it first came out. I showed that pilot to everyone. I was so crazy about The Walking Dead. I turned into a temporary PR person for the show in my hometown while the first season was airing. And I remember I was doing rent in Atlanta. I'd come home from rehearsals every Sunday, and those would be the big rehearsals. And I'd be tired and I'd be eating a sandwich, and we would watch The Walking Dead. And that was my favorite thing to do. And she was just like, "Hey, so I know you like the show, and they shoot it nearby. You should ask your agent to get you an audition for it." And that's not really how that works, but it was just one of those things where I was like, all right, I'll humor you since I can't really not do it now that you've said it right in front of me. So I just sent an email to my agent, just sort of hey, I'm a fan of this. If you see, his name is Chase Paris, by the way. I love that man. He is also one of the other people who I can credit with any sort of positivity in my career. That man, I owe him everything. He is incredible. He now works in casting.
Shouts out to Chase Paris, true legend.
Chase Paris. Yeah. He's now at Paris Fieldstein. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but that's one of the bigger casting places in the Southeast now. And I'm so fucking happy for him. If you're listening to this, congratulations, dude. You fucking deserve it.
Hey, Chase, good job, bud. You did it.
Yeah. But anyway, he doomed me because he was always looking out for me and telling me to get more organized, and he really looked out for me as a person and as a career actor. It's you gotta be on time for shit. You have to be more organized. He was very, very helpful, being a little guru for me until I came out here. But I sent the email to him, and he was like, look, there's something I needed you to know. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was basically implying there is currently an audition for a part that you could be on The Walking Dead right now. And again, I should have been at work. Typical day, I would have been at work, but I was home for some reason this day. So that was really fortunate. It was one day in the middle of the week. And he was like, if you can get to our office in Atlanta, and I'm about 45 minutes away. It's if you can get to our office in Atlanta in the next 30 minutes, we can film you reading for this audition, and we'll sneak it in because they've already said no to you.
What the fuck?
Yes, they're they went through our roster and they saw you and they said no.
Holy shit.
Maybe if you can get here in the next 30 minutes, we'll put a tape in, and that deadline will be, hopefully you'll make the deadline, hopefully, and then we'll just sneak your tape in, and hopefully they won't realize they already said no.
Dude, they
and-
fucking snuck your tape in.
Well, I sped to the city, and I hate to say it, I broke the law quite significantly because I got to the office as fast as possible. And if it had been like 5 minutes in either direction, I don't think I would have made it. I got so lucky it hurts because I got a call like 3 weeks later, and one of the last things Frank Darabont did before before his agreement with AMC ended, I'll word it that way. I was in the batch of people he was like, pointing to and casting. So I'm very grateful for him. But that was such a wild. It is so serendipitous. Like the fact that I got that, I don't think I'll ever be able to take credit for booking that because it was just a timing situation.
Dude, yeah, that's fucking crazy. That's just like one of those things, the right place, right time. You snuck in your fucking tape and got it. That's awesome.
Honestly, that's what the industry is more than it is, anything to do with the craft or whatnot. It's just, are you the right look? Are you capable of taking direction? And are you in our office when we need you? And that's basically what being an actor is. And so, honestly, the performance part of being an actor, I think, is benefited from me having ADHD because, we basically live in the moment emotionally so often that it's really hard to take yourself. For me, it's hard for me to get in my head when I'm doing a scene. If I don't remember it, then I know that it was good. It's like I can kind of use my my short attention span, I suppose, to really focus on, like, hyper focus what's happening in the scene and to be present for what that would feel like and listening and that sort of thing. And because my memory isn't great, I have to listen to the other actor, which will then remind me of my lines because that's why they're in the first place. So that's how you know if it's good writing. If you can listen to your partner and remember what your line is next or something. It's like if it's easy to absorb, it's like the intentions were all very clear.
I had never considered that.
Yeah, honestly, I think the lifestyle of being an actor is not okay for me with ADHD. Like that is this whole like the life around waiting for work and that sort of thing. That is not conducive. But I think the actual job, it really is what I'm best at and what I believe.
I think you're an amazing actor. Personally, that's my personal take.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I think you're great.
What were you saying?
I said no. I was just saying I think you're awesome, but I definitely understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's a weird industry, and I came out here like after we wrapped The Walking Dead that I was actually kind of told by the producer Galen Hurd, who's a fucking legend. She's an incredible producer. She's one of my heroes. She was like, you should move to LA in the beginning of the year and try your hand at being an actor professionally, like full time. And so I kind of took, it was not, I didn't do it the best way. I'll say that. I think if you get an opportunity like this in your life, don't just like abandon everything and like drop everything to start this new thing. Cause like, I wish that I had been more patient and more respectful of the people around me and my girlfriend at the time, especially. Like I really just kind of got so focused on my future and my job that I didn't really have the sight to be kind at all times. And I think that's the problem with being an actor in a lot of ways, is just you can lose sight of reality with it, which is why I always appreciated people who were focused on me as a person in the industry, which have been a lot, luckily.
Dude, I think that's a general lesson for anyone. I mean, are we the same person, Jamie? Are we the same fucking person?
I think so.
I had the same experience when I first moved to LA, and I wasn't even trying to be an actor, dude. It was just for post-production, and like my wife Megan and I really fucking struggled when we moved to LA initially because we just packed up and fucking went. It was insane. We lived with this dude Mike in his fucking extended garage, and it was insane.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that. It sounded pretty punk rock, though.
It was an okay room. It was the most fucking beautiful bathroom I've ever had, for sure. But like everything else sucked about it. But Jamie, we are going to change gears here. I want to hear more about what happened after you got to LA and all that stuff. But for now, this is a real talk show, obviously.
Of course.
And real talk shows have segments. And that's why I have developed our first segment called,
so
That's a Video. We're going to roll this now.
Okay.
Well, that's a video.
That's fucking professional grade graphic right
That
there.
was good stuff. That was good stuff.
Okay, Jamie, so a little background about this. I spend too much time on the internet, and sometimes I find the most ridiculous fucking videos. And so, Jamie,
Right.
I want to share a video with you this week that will definitely make you think, well, that is a video. So, if you're ready, I am going to share my screen here.
I would love that.
Okay.
I'm
It's
so excited
sharing.
for the- Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Chat,
Okay.
this is for you as well. We're going to watch this all together.
We're all ready. I am speaking for the masses. Oh God, this is how I feel now. In quarantine. Jesus Christ, that's the way I look. All the chips.
It's time to have some fun with Uncle Samson.
No, this is a hard no. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Can't deal with that. Nope. No, sir. No, nah. I'll pass. I'm good. You guys go ahead. I'm good. Woof. Oh my God.
Well,
Well, that's a video.
That's really the only thing you can't say. What in goddamn? I couldn't hear on my end, so that was.
couldn't fucking hear it.
No, I couldn't hear. I'm gonna go back and watch it later. But boy, that's so much worse when it's quiet because I'm picturing everything it could be.
That is much worse without any audio. That's
Woof. Oh my God.
well, that
That's
was
bananas.
Uncle Samsonite,
Love
and
it. Love that.
that's just something I found on the internet, and it is a video.
No, you're right.
Megan,
You weren't wrong about that.
Megan is in chat, and Chelsea. If one of you guys can link it in chat, that way everyone can watch it. If it doesn't
Love
work, I will tweet it out later. But that's Uncle Samsonite, and that is a video.
Stupendous. Wow.
I will send that to you later so you could listen to it with audio. We can't really discuss it because I guess you couldn't hear it. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Zoom allow you to hear it? Whatever.
I just want to absorb it the way it was. It was just a hell of a moment watching that in silence.
I've watched that weeks ago, and it still lives in me, and it doesn't go away.
I love that. Oh, good Lord.
Well, anyway, that's a new segment called "Well, That's a New Video," where I find a video on the internet to share with our guests every week, and I'm hoping to carry that forward. If you have any videos you want to share with me, please tweet them at me, and maybe we'll play them. This is
I
an
love
interactive talk show.
It's basically my show, but with you instead of me, and that immediately improves it.
Yes. I just love weird shit, man. I am all about those weird ass videos.
Yeah, that's why I started the Offbeat. It was just to kind of like cover some strange stuff that doesn't matter as much.
You know, actually, that's a really good segue as well. I'm not sure a lot of people know about your show. You want to talk to us a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah. I have a channel on YouTube. It's just my name, James Allen McCune. It's just a strange amalgamation of stuff that I've been working on for the last couple of years. It's very on and off. I don't have like a regular schedule yet or anything. But if you want to go watch it, I have my most recent thing was a regular show that I've been doing called The Offbeat, which I'm going to have a new episode this week of.
Nice.
Hopefully, I've been having some like technical issues, so I think I said that a while back.
It's a stream exclusive, guys. New video this week.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to try and get it out tomorrow. We'll see. But it's a show that is basically looking for news that people aren't talking about and is just the strangest part of the world right now that is being reported on. And it's often poorly written, and it's just a lot of fun to find people who are having a weirder time than I am.
I like it a lot. I mean, those news stories are so fucking weird, and no one talks about them, but someone should.
There's also, I found there are other shows that are similar to it If anyone wants to go check them out, I've got a joke about it in the new episode where I'm starting a rivalry between me and the sister show that is very, very similar in concept, but it's called Bananas. It's a podcast, and it's going to be on Exactly Right Media on Spotify. You can listen to it there and where else. And it's a similar thing, but it's two guys. That's worth checking out if you like that sort of situation too. Everything they do is great. Georgia and Kara, incredible. But there's there's also side stories from last podcast. There's a lot of stuff like this. So it's not like the most original thing, but God, I have fun doing it.
Why be rivals when you could be collaborators, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm going to fight them to the death.
Okay, that's fair too. Man,
Yeah,
off-feed's fucking awesome. I just like when you do that kind of stuff, man. It seems like that's definitely like your forte. You're super casual about it, and I know you love weird shit as much as I do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of I'm trying to make it a hobby and not put so much like emotional stress on me to commit to the show and to the YouTube channel and stuff that I can't function eventually. So I'm up and down about when I post, but I really do love the work that I do over there. I have another show called Gray Area that sort of explores difficult concepts and that sort of thing. So if y'all are interested in that, go check it out. There's going to be more of that soon, hopefully.
I think on YouTube you're just James Allen McCune, right?
I believe so.
That's awesome. If you guys want to go subscribe to Jamie, he makes really great shit. And I'm not just saying that because I helped with one of his videos. They're legitimately good.
No, Alex has been an incredible cameraman. We filmed an episode with Illy Nation that I'm still cutting. It's one of those things where we've been sitting on the footage for so long. I kind of want to do a follow up, but with all this stuff happening, I might just need to find a way to release it as is. But I really want to like get back together with her and do a 1 year catch up.
That'd be awesome, man. That was a really fun day. I hope I was not shaking the camera too much. I worry about that all the time.
No, dude, you did a great job. I mean, it's all about the story, so I don't think anyone's really going to care so much. It's like what I found with the episode on Gus, was that the story was really the most important part, and it's really got to do with what everybody is feeling, and if anyone can have a different change of perspective by the end of a thing, that's kind of what I'm trying to work on, is like story with my shows.
Yeah, I think they're fucking great, man. I think you're doing really good with all that stuff. I hope to see more of it. But
I appreciate that.
Let's dive back into Mr. Jamie's past. So you just got your Walking Dead stuff. Obviously, you were successful. You were on like a whole season, weren't you?
Yeah, it was about 10 episodes, I think. In season 2, I played Jimmy, who is Beth's first boyfriend that she has on that show.
And where do you go from there? Like, obviously, you enjoyed acting, so you continued with it. How did you end up doing everything else? Was it just like after you landed that role on The Walking Dead, did it just kind of get the ball rolling?
More or less, yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't have like the big break moment everybody pictures in their head when they think about this sort of thing. But I did get a taste of like, what it feels like to I don't know, that it's a very, very different life that I've lived. I've learned since The Walking Dead happened. It's completely changed everything about my existence. Like the thing that I would love to just like jump ahead and tell you about everything that happened afterwards, but really The Walking Dead was like the turning point for all of my for my entire future, because those guys and girls and everything in between on that show, there was a really, really huge effort to, at least when I was on, make sure everybody felt loved and everybody was respected. And I think that like especially like Steve, Jeffrey DeMunn, and Andy, like they in particular, and Lori Holden, they all were so fucking sweet and understood that I was very green, but they were never belittling about it. They were always very inclusive about me being so new, and I didn't know all the technical stuff like hitting marks and doing lineramas and series of things. I didn't understand the technical aspect of being an actor on film, so used to theater. And it's so different that they were really so fucking kind. It held my hand the entire way through and really kind of taught me, on Andy especially, Andrew Lincoln. I owe that man so much, because he always taught me lessons as if I was one day going to be a leading man. And he explained his philosophy for being on set as a leading man a lot. And, anytime I book something that I'm really proud of, I email him and I'm just like, thank you for everything you taught me, because he he has saved my ass in my career multiple times just by sitting down with me for so long. Him and Jeffrey DeMont too. Jeffrey taught me a lot about just being a human being, but Andy and Steve really helped me out with what it means to be an actor and like how to do the job. And,
Dude, that's awesome. That's really great.
Yeah, man. Andy really taught me that like if you're number one on the call sheet, which means if you're like the main person on set, or if you're the one that the focus is on, if everyone's focusing on the camera person or the AD or whatever, it's like there is such a huge responsibility to have a good attitude, to be positive, and to support other people and to stop and help them emotionally and stuff. Like he really wanted to curate that philosophy in my head, and I don't think I'll ever be able to express how grateful I am to him for that. And who knows if I'll act again, but like the work I did do was completely influenced by Andrew Lincoln sitting down and saying, you have a future, and here's how to pursue that as a kind man.
I agree with him, man. Look, guys, I'm not fucking sucking Jamie's dick here, but I have told you this on... Not yet, yes. I've told you this on like many personal occasions, but I think you're a fantastic actor, and I agree with him. I mean, I don't know if you're still interested in acting, but I think if you do pursue it, I definitely can see success in your future. I mean, you're still very young. I think you're only like a year or two older than me, and there's fucking actors who really don't blow up until late in their life, and you're very talented, and I still think that can happen.
I would love that. I really, truly would. I think that there is a lot of complicated stuff emotionally for me when it comes to being an actor. That's that really kind of like takes precedent over any sort of dream of being like the guy on a movie again. I think I have been really lucky to understand, to be able to extrapolate what stuff would look like down the road by the information that I had. So I could kind of see, during Blair Witch, which I think that's the closest I had to like the full Hollywood treatment of like what it's like to be a leading man and to have all your dreams come true and blah, blah, blah. It was the full fucking, you're going to be a star kid moment. And it's something people hear about, but you don't really have happen a lot. And I got this really, it was just a very strange process. Going through Blair Witch was a very strange process, and it was a lot of people really kind of gussing me up to being like, hey, after this, you're going to be huge. But the movie kind of flopped, so it was really interesting to see everybody backpedal and pull out, and to see this this disappearing away from all of the stuff that was being said beforehand. It was the public perception of the movie completely changed everybody's worth and value of the film, and it was remarkable, honestly, to kind of go there and to honestly not have the best time. I wasn't prepared for it emotionally, and to just see like, wow, this lifestyle, it's so not fun. I love acting, I love the job, but the lifestyle is really brutal, and it's hurtful, and you're also in a position in life where everybody thinks that you're rich, they think that you're famous, they think that you have everything in life, and that why wouldn't they think that? Because you've pursued your dream and you got it. So it's like this position of like, I was actually having a very huge mental breakdown, but it was really hard for me to talk to them about that because they were all sort of like frustrated at me for not appreciating my position in life outside of this stuff that I was feeling or whatever. And it was not anyone's fault. It's just one of those things that happens when you see somebody who's got everything perceptively, they have everything that you want or something. So I had a lot of actor friends who had a really hard time empathizing with me during that time period. And so it felt very lonely.
Yeah, man, I just think that's... Oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just saying, I feel like that's a part of the industry that, honestly, no one really talks about. Until, like, I would say no one talks about it until it gets to the fucking point where people crash and burn. Like your Lindsay Lohans and, like, those kind of people. And so, I'm sorry to hear that you had such a hard time, but, I mean...
Oh, no. Again, I got so lucky, and I don't ever want to make it sound like I am taking for granted what I experienced. It was just one of those things I think I'm really grateful in retrospect that it went away. Like I had since then, its work has been very, very light, and I think that was a huge turning point. 2016, when the election happened and all that stuff, I think everybody made a huge change about what kind of stories we're wanting to see. And honestly, the straight white man who is like quirky or like an action hero or like your typical leading man look, we've seen that before, and I think Blair Witch kind of flopping was like a good indicator of like we're all kind of ready to see new shit. And I think that my look honestly isn't what is in style. It's not what is being written lately. So that's really why there hasn't been so much work, but I've never stopped wanting to be an actor or wanting to live this life. It was just one of those things that, because work has been, it went away, it closed out. I have been able to really kind of get a retrospective on what that experience was like for me, and what I should have done, what I'm going to do in the future. I feel like I have visited the entertainment industry as somebody who is not from this world. I had fun, and I think if it doesn't go anywhere from here on out, I think it'd be okay. I got a lot of really cool experiences in my back pocket, and I got a lot of stuff to tell my kids.
Yeah, man. I don't think
you're
you're
really
done
fine
yet.
going somewhere else.
I don't think you're done yet. And I mean, even since then, like, you've done so much cool shit. Like, Sugar Pine 7 was fucking awesome. You're a great part of that. You're still making
Thank you.
online content. And I mean, I fucking don't see you stopping making anything anytime soon. Unless you just decide that you're not into it.
Yeah, I mean, I try. It's hard, especially this year. The last year has been truly, not to get too personal and gush. This year has been really hard, and I'm really not. It's been like a consistent difficulty, and a lot of that has to do with just the way that the industry treats actors, which is, they don't care about actors at all until they need them, and then they throw them away when they're done. This industry really doesn't take care of people, and I think that's hard. And it on top of trying to figure out how to pay rent. And I've been lucky to join all of these different YouTubers that I love, that I'm a huge fan of. Like becoming a part of Sugar Pine was such a honor, because I'm a huge fan in general, and I love those guys. It was it's just one of those things where it's like, you're in entertainment, you really don't have a system. You are required to figure it out yourself. And so when acting dried up and the money started to wane, I got really stressed but lucky with the press junket introducing me to a lot of YouTubers who helped me continue making things and stuff. And I've learned that producing is almost as creating things as a whole. It's almost as fun as performing to me. So I'm really loving this. I honestly think making a YouTube video is more satisfying per moment of effort versus being an actor. So I really like this. I don't know what I'll do for a job because it's just a weird time to be unemployed. But I'm having an okay perspective on the idea of if I don't act again, I think it'd be okay. I'm very lucky to have been visiting here.
2020's been hard, man. I can't imagine fucking having to find a job right now, but it sucks. Going back to the producing and everything, how did you start at Sugar Pine 7? I don't remember the story. It's fucked up because I watched Sugar Pine 7 since the beginning of it, and I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's another situation that's kind of serendipitous that it worked out the way it did. I was doing the press tour for Blair Witch and had a little bit of heat on my name, and a PR woman who helped me kind of coordinate certain meetings and talk shows and stuff. And one of the things that I was really diligent about doing was internet shows. And it was interesting to see my PR girl and my manager, they were all very, very off-put by the idea of doing internet stuff. They've always been that way. I think you and I have talked about this personally. But the mainstream entertainment industry is really not there yet. They don't get it yet. They're still very old-fashioned when it comes to entertainment, and they look at this YouTube stuff as really kind of wasteful or something. So I had a really hard time at first moving into making stuff regularly because my manager and everybody was just sort of I don't know what this is. And I feel it's not good to just show off who you are outside of acting, because then people can't see you as a role or whatever. But I don't know, if you gotta make stuff. If that's a part of me, is just to entertain and do things, and I love it. I'm not gonna stop just because the industry is making decisions for me. I can't wait for everybody else to decide stuff for me. That's what I love about making things, YouTube and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree.
But to answer your question, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was doing PR tour for Blair Witch. Luckily, I had a friend who knew Philip Molina, who is a hot-ass god right now. He looks like a fucking Marvel hero. He looks incredible. Go check out Philip Molina. But he's at New Rockstars. It's a great channel to sort of talk about nerd stuff. And he was in SourceFed Nerd, and my friend hooked me up with him, and he introduced me to everybody else, and I came in and did an episode. It was sort of promotion. But there was a lot of just walking around the SourceFed office, and I have been gargantuan Philip Franco SourceFed fan since 2006 2006, I think I've been watching Phil.
He's been around so long.
Yeah, man, I started watching him. I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, I did it before. But I have been obsessed with YouTube, and I've been in love with YouTubers for way too long. And when SourceFed started, I watched every episode, every single one, and I got so stoked to be at the SourceFed offices and that whole thing. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, I met Steve, and he just kind of like asked me to be a part of it. It was really not more romantic than that, but I just came over. I had no idea what I was doing. Everything was kind of made up on the spot, and we sort of would discuss where everything was going in between. But it just developed into coming back more often, and I was basically just playing a character version of myself who was actually experiencing what I was really experiencing in real life, but to a comical degree of like I was a failed actor, but I was pretending to be super successful on the outside, but actually I was homeless. Like it was such a weird character, but God, I fucking love doing all that stuff. Such a drug addict and a drunk at one point. Like that was really funny to just play like somebody so unhinged that they could be anywhere and do anything at any point in time.
I love Sugar Pine 7, man. That shit was awesome. You know what's funny is, I mean, for people who are watching now, I was an intern at Funhouse, and you're actually the fucking first person I met during my internship.
Oh, whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got let into the building, and I went to the bathroom, and you were the first person who walked in, and we talked for a little bit, and then we talked outside the bathroom, because that's normal social circumstances. And you're the first person I met, and ironically, honestly, like I feel like I have the best relationship with you out of everyone I probably met during that time. It's insane.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, it's awesome. I love the Funhouse like people in those offices. Like Rooster Teeth is full of just like the kindest folks that I've met. I haven't met like the entire crew, but I was just so happy to be in that office and to work with those people, and it was just like to see like you're a good person, and that's who they're hiring for like interns. It's like this is a community of people who really want to work with good people too, and that makes me happy. So I was always really stoked to meet new people who were in the office because I knew that they were probably there for mostly good reasons. But no, man, I miss that. I really really loved that job. I don't think I gave it the proper respect when I was doing it towards the end there, because I was just so like overwhelmed with everything else that was going on.
Yeah,
but it was a really beautiful period working with Sugar Pine. I'm very grateful for that time period. It was difficult because we all have ADHD. Maybe I was the only neurotypical person there who could like control things. So if I have any ability to be a good producer, it was all Mimi. Mimi taught me everything about being organized.
Mimi is a very talented producer. She's great.
She's remarkable. Yeah, she is one of them. She is probably the most talented producer that I've met in like the capacity that I've worked with in this capacity. It's like remarkable how organized and collected she is and stuff. It's not an easy job producing. I don't think that I'm at the place where I can call myself a producer as much as she can. But
I definitely wouldn't be able to organize it.
It's hard, man. It's hard. You got a lot of stuff to juggle, and I think what everyone's like, what does a producer do? Even it's like that is the question. We'll never have an answer for it.
They produce.
Yes. If you need something, it will be produced.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's often, hopefully, a good circumstance. But it's kind of like babysitting sometimes too. You just look at all the different stuff you have to like bop on the head. But no, man, I love that show. I really loved working with those guys and doing something so different, and it really was fun. It was interesting to see like what my dynamic was creatively with all my friends. Like even like you were there too. It's just like having this sort of banter was really really delightful to see like what people are made of when it comes to entertainment. Like people just sort of snap into the best version of themselves when they get on camera around those guys, and it's really fun.
Absolutely. Like I really really still love all the Sugar Pine guys. I talk to James every now and again, but Steven, fuck man, that's like one of the most talented guys I've ever met. Like even when Sugar Pine went down, like he just fucking went right into like 3D modeling and like making music. It's insane. But those guys
I wish that Steve was as kind to himself as his talents are to him, because he is so viciously gifted. I've never seen anyone in my life who could do as much as he's capable of. I think he gets too sort of like in his head. It's so interesting to see. Like I do similar things. He and I have very similar brains. Always been very grateful to meet somebody who's so similar to me. But like, I wish he understood how great he was. It is.
Me too, man.
It's just interesting to see how common that is in the entertainment industry.
You know, he's been
Fantastic,
making
man.
he's been making great music too. He's fucking awesome. Speaking of music,
It's
actually,
outrageous.
you're fucking good at music too.
Thanks, man. I don't know. I try. I did a lot of musical theater before I got into film and TV, so I am like trained. I can do it. I don't know if I'm able to call myself good.
My wife Megan would kill me if I didn't bring up the fact that you almost got the role of Brad in the Rocky Horror Picture Show remake that happened a while ago.
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
What was the story of that? What happened?
Well, that was actually really interesting. I'm really glad I didn't get it in a creative way. I think financially, I wish. But like the creative, like there was a lot of controversy around that remake. People did not like it, especially the musical theater crowd, which is like those are my people. There was a lot of stress around it, but everybody was still like there were things that people liked about it and stuff. Like I don't think I fit it in general, but I remember going in for the audition. It was like 2013 or 2014 or something. I came out here in 2012. And the last musical theater show I did was back in 2010 or something. So it's been a long time. And I just thought that I could always have the threats, the triple threat thing. I always thought that I would just like keep that. And I remember going in to rehearse for that audition to sing, like one of their songs. And I realized my voice was gone. It was the most horrifying thing at the moment. I was just like, I can't believe I've been training for years to have this like, well-rounded vocal training, and my voice, I didn't practice it. My muscles atrophied. It was such a wild thing. So I remember going in there and giving a fine audition, and that wasn't good enough for me. And it just felt like I blew it. But yeah, no, I had to relearn how to sing after that. I'll always remember that as like that was such a spooky thing to realize like my voice was just gone. It was interesting.
Do you think you could do it now?
Yes. I don't think I'd book it. I'm really not right for the part. They like brunettes with a lot of hair. But I definitely think vocally I could very easily play it. I've got my voice back. I can play it.
If you ever want to do me a giant personal favor, my wife Megan Ramirez in the other room would really love for you to record a video of you singing the song "Damn It, Janet." That's all I'm going to put out there. You don't have to do it right now. I did want to do some karaoke, but I'm not going to ruin this fucking stream with my awful voice. But that's her one request of you.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I'm doing it.
I would love that. I think you'd be great. But, we're getting, we just a little over an hour here. So what I want to know is, Jamie, we were talking about Sugar Pine 7 and your journey to just acting and all that stuff, or to getting started in acting. We are in 2020. This year has been an absolute shit show, but I'm hoping things get better after all this is over. But I want to know is, Jamie, what do you want for yourself, professionally, personally, whatever? What do you want to do now?
I really love that you asked that question. It's a very, very good question. By the way, you're fantastic at this. I'm stalling, but you're very, very good at these interviews. This is a question that has been haunting me for a while. I've been in a position that's really like if I were to talk about it, I think people would. It's bad radio. It's just not. I've had a hard moment for a long time here, and I think that I'm really trying to figure out what I want, because I really do think that I could, try a different career. Out at this point. I do think I have a lot of capabilities. I could find something that I'm really interested in. I've been editing and producing a lot and enjoying that for the most part. I do miss performing and acting and singing, and I don't think I'll ever be as happy doing anything as I am on a stage, or but I am in a place where I don't really know if I consider acting viable. I just have to be realistic. It's not something that I have control over. So if people are writing movies with people that look like me, then that's when I'll get called. But it's not really something people want to do lately, which I respect. So I don't know. I have a lot of people telling me to move back to Georgia, try stuff out anew. But I really love this show, and I think that I really love my apartment. And I don't know. I'm open to new things, but I'm not currently in pursuit because I'm still figuring myself out. If that makes any sense. I hope that wasn't too rambly and sad.
No, I understand. It's tough, man. If you ever decide you want to change your career path, I might know a small software company in Redmond, Washington that might want to take advantage of your talents here.
Deal. It's like it's kind of freeing to be like I can move if anywhere I wanted to right now if I wanted to. So I don't know. I'm debating it. We'll see where it goes. I think honestly, if you were to be like, hey, I found a thing, you're going to be the king of Washington. Just come over here and grab your scepter. I think I'd probably do it. Just like uproot everything. But
I think you'd make an excellent king of Washington, Jamie.
I'd be very good at that. But also at the same time, my animals are here. I'm very protective of Papas and Toilet in India. Those are my babies.
Yeah.
So I'd have a hard time. moving anywhere.
It's definitely difficult uprooting yourself. Well, Jamie.
Yeah.
It's
We'll see.
I think we are coming to the end of our show. It has been an hour. Man, fuck. This was awesome. I really, really enjoyed hearing about your start and probably honestly some stuff I didn't really know about you. So I just want to say thank you for coming on. It was just great getting to talk to you again, especially not in person, obviously, but over the phone, man. It was awesome.
Dude, it means a lot to me that you had me on. I'm always willing to come back anytime you need it.
Thank you.
I love you, man. I really appreciate you including me.
I definitely appreciate you too. Everyone, we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. Just again, huge thanks to Jamie. I call him Jamie. You may call him Sir James Allen McCune. But thanks for coming on, man. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We're going to be back next Sunday with a really special guest. His name's Donovan. He goes by Young Crip on Twitter. I am so excited to have him on and talk to him. Everyone, you be safe out there. You have an excellent week, and we'll catch you next time with the Early Night Show with Alex Ramirez.
Thank you so much for having me and for listening, folks. Also, check out my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitter, JALLENNC. That's my @ for all things. And I also want to really want to remind everybody, go watch the show Bananas. It's very similar to The Offbeat, and if you're hurting for more episodes, you got that, and they seem like good people. Again, I hate them. We're rivals, but I just want to
stomp them in the fucking ground, but also watch them.
They're getting started, so they're doing their thing. They're no Offbeat, but they're working on it. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you guys, and have a good one. Bye bye.